Well, hello out there. Hello, welcome to Imagine 21. My name is Mark.
My name is Leanne.
And we are just a couple of the members of the team that have helped come together to bring this exhibition to you here from Moncton Wesleyan. It's kind of the first of its kind, and I think simultaneously we hope that it is both the last of its kind and also the first of many more. And by that I mean we would have loved the opportunity for this to have been an analog experience as well as a digital experience, but we're also just really kind of super happy that it's happening at all. So really grateful for the fact that we could kind of roll with the punches, and next time around, Lord willing, we'll be able to actually have people in the rooms as well so they can kind of see and get closer to the work.
Yeah, we're really excited about the quality of the work that's been submitted, the work that you're going to get a chance to see tonight, and yeah, there's just a lot of great art that's being showcased.
Yeah, so hey, if you're watching this right now, live or even later on, share this around. It's really super easy, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or really any of your other social media. You can go ahead and you just hit the share button, or what really works even better is individually taking the link and like texting it to your friend, or sending an email, or you could even knock on your neighbor's door and say, hey, have you seen this? I know you like art. So spread the word.
So not all the submissions that we received are going to be part of the presentation here tonight. However, they are going to be available at mw.church/imagine. So you can go there and you can take a look at the different works of art, read the write-ups about those pieces, and really at your leisure, take it in. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and also at the end of this presentation, there's going to be a special presentation from our Kids World kids. There's a whole bunch of them that got together and they did kind of a special project, which I'm pretty psyched about. So we're going to take a look at that. So if you are one of those kids, or if you're a parent of one of them, or just someone who's interested, make sure you stick around till the end.
So what I think is really cool about Imagine is that this is a community experience. So not every artist is directly connected to our church. There are artists that put in submissions that are from the community at large, and really Imagine is about the art, not necessarily about the artist. So we're going to be diving into the reasons, the methods, the reasons behind why people made the choices they did in creating these pieces.
Yeah, and it's a great question. I think that we would love to be able to unpack and give you a definitive answer right now is, what is art? And the truth is that there have been countless books and probably a lot of blood spilled, frankly, over the very, I mean, you have a degree, you went to a fine arts education specifically.
Many an argument had over that question. So yeah, I'm not sure we're going to solve it, but we are definitely we're going to reflect on it.
Yeah, for sure. And the one thing that we don't know is art has something to say. I think that's one thing that you want to know today is art and art is never neutral. This is the thing that you also want to know is art in some respects is in the eye of the beholder. So what somebody sees in it is in some respects what they get from it. But art never really lies there without some sort of value statement happening. And so tonight you're going to be seeing a lot of things, some of them that you're going to like right away, some of them you're going to not necessarily be super partial to, some of them are going to say great things to you, some of them are going to be like, I'm feeling almost a little bit uncomfortable. That's kind of what art does, to be honest with you. Art is not neutral, but art can be used in really super powerful ways. And the church in general has a very, very long history with art. At one point in time, the church was, actually for a very long time, the church was sort of the #1 patron of artists globally and historically. And there's some really good reasons why some of that has gone away, and there's also some really kind of sad reasons why it's gone away. We're glad to be at least entering our feet, dipping our toes into that pool. So buckle up, stick with us for the ride. The first thing we're going to do is take a look at a piece of work by definitely somebody who is connected to our church here. Her name is Braylon Schultz. We're going to put a link that you can click on that has she's done a really great job of giving us a lot of background information about this work in particular, which is super cool. It's got a bit of a write-up about her. It's got a link to some of her Instagram stuff. And it also has, and we're going to show some of that even right now, it has a background to the video that inspired this originally, which is, I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to read you just a little bit, a sampling of what she wrote, but there's more, so I hope you'll dig into it as well. She says, I was originally inspired by a video of a deer walking through a cathedral in Paris. The scene invoked such peace in me that I wanted to capture it in a painting. And as I was working on it, I was thinking of how it would connect to the theme Imagine. And I decided on the name Transcendence for the piece. We, the people, are what makes up the church, not the building itself. We transcend the structure, if you will. I chose to paint the Notre Dame Cathedral altar because of the fact that it's so fresh in our history that it burnt down. And while it's tragic that such a historic building was destroyed partially, the church isn't truly affected because it's the people that give the church significance. And I think that's a really, again, I would encourage you to read the rest of it because it's very well thought out, very well explained, and very cool. And I really love what she ended up doing here with this kind of digital composite. There's a few different people who submitted digital work, which is something that in the past we wouldn't have seen probably very much of.
No, we haven't.
Very, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely check out that video. Spend some time watching it because it is hauntingly beautiful.
So all the people who are on the Imagine team themselves are artists, which is not surprising, right? And Leanne happens to be one of them. So she brought her painting here tonight, and she's going to tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this is acrylic on canvas. It's just black and white. I really wanted to emphasize and focus the lines, so I kept it super simple. So the inspiration for this particular piece, which is called Makes a Way, actually came from participating in Tuesday morning prayer. So every week there's the availability to meet online and just pray together. And so I was there and I was reflecting on the scripture and thinking about the worship songs where we talk often about how God is able to make a way where there is seemingly no way. And that was really speaking to me. And so I had this picture in my mind of a mountain moving, a mountain sort of opening up a pathway through itself. So this is where the inspiration came from. This technique of painting, I call it mark making. It's a little bit, it's a little bit more defined than doodling, I guess, but really the lines are giving shape to the mountain. But I really framed it in a way so that there's no possible way for the viewer to pass around either side. It's cut off at the edges. Really, the only possible way to continue on the path was for that mountain to be split open. So for me, it is an image of hope. And so hopefully it is an image of hope for the viewers as they are enjoying it.
That's cool. I hadn't considered that, the idea that the mountain is, that literally is the only way.
That's the only path, yeah.
And God made that way. That's very cool. That's great. So I can't draw worth beans. I've never been able to do it. The visual arts are not my forte, but music I love, right? And so I'm really excited that we also have a lot of people who submitted some really great music for this one. So one of the people who a lot of you would know is a guy named Tia Bailey. His artist name is 180, and he released an album last year, and this single is the one that he wanted to submit for this event. Now, he gave us a very special print for this one. It's a custom music video that was made just for Imagine 21. Very, very cool. The song is called It's Complicated, and this is what he said about it. He said, "This is a piece of artwork that's outlining our current cultural climate from the perspective of a Canadian Black Christian. The artist is trying to share experience while offering hope using his faith in Jesus as a conduit." Now you can find 180's music pretty much everywhere that you look for music, and I would encourage you to do so if you haven't already. But right now, let's take a look at this very, very powerful song, It's Complicated.
The day started out like most did, Do my devotion, grab my phone and see what's posted. Notice my calendar says my day is full, but it's commission week, so hopefully I'm paid in full. I got some clients to see and deadlines to meet, and can't forget I gotta hit the studio at 3. Fresh sent me some heat, I said I'd get back. He knows I only brought my B game on that last track. I'll set out, let's get the day going. Already know I'll never reap if I ain't out sowing. Phone rings, my wife asked if I could pick up some food, but I ain't bothered, I'm supposed to cook and ain't in the mood. My neighborhood is kinda nice, I know I'll stick out, so I got a checklist I follow before I exit the house. Told my wife where I be, check. Got my ID check. My pants are tight enough to not look like a threat check. Yesterday was pretty tough, better not show it. Always be smiling even though you're nice, they won't know it. Slow yourself so you speak clear. Give yourself enough time so you ain't gotta rush while you're in there. I think I'm ready, let's get out on the road. Make sure your hoodie has a logo, man, it's probably cold. Grab your phone and your keys, put that hat on straight, and say a prayer that you make it home safe today. This is just a snapshot of what you don't see. This is what I do on the regular to just be. I ain't trying to do nothing, man, just take on a day. But my anxiety will likely just get in the way. I know you say it ain't that bad, I promise it is. And George Floyd ain't really new to us, the video is. I guess it freaks you out a little that our stories are real. But if you're angry now, imagine how we must feel. I'm crying, I hope you hear my heart. We just wanna be heard, and if you're curious, that's where you should start. You say you wanna love like Jesus did. Well, I don't know who you worship, cause I know Jesus wouldn't love these injustices. Now, I ain't asking you to hate yours, just don't hate mine. Don't blow me off, cause I'm telling you that I'm not fine. You wanna know how to help, just listen. Ask about experiences and just listen. Don't tell me all lives matter, cause I got video footage that says that mine ain't worth the same as the next batter. Call racism, racism right there. They need to know where you stand, man, so be clear. When you stand up, know you will stand out. And they gon' try to make you quiet till it's fanned out. You think it's not systemic, it is. You might not change it for your parents, but you can for your kids. Now on the topic of policing, let's get this straight. Please know that there's a difference between fear and hate. I don't hate you, I have cause to be cautious. Maybe it's not you, true, but I'm still counting up losses. A few bad apples will kill a whole pie. Ain't saying all y'all bad, but yet I still cry. An innocent minority seem to still die. How can you see us as humans if you just won't try? To the good ones out there, I apologize. I hope the labels you're getting will get you energized to make the changes that we need to see. I know you're hurting too, but you can do much more than me. To the church, don't hide behind your diverse seats, cause we ain't dying in your buildings, we're out in these streets. If you know, then you can do better. And there's so much more that couldn't fit into this one letter. I guess it's complicated.
So this is a drawing by Andy Gill, local Moncton area artist. The drawing is entitled Jesus Christ. And here's the incredible thing. Andy didn't use any references for this photograph. Historically there aren't any references for the image of Jesus, but it is based on some research that Andy did, trying to bring together what historians would say that Jesus would have looked like. The lines on this are beautiful, just absolutely stunning textures.
It is incredible, yeah, beautiful.
And the softness in the face. Yeah.
And the eyes, he said that he basically used 4 different colors for the eyes. So if you look, it's kind of like you can't really tell what kind of color eyes he has.
Oh, that's a really interesting take.
Yeah. So next up, we're going to take a look at another kind of a piece of digital work. It started off as a physical drawing and then became digitalized. And it was done by none other than Jess Lewis, who has been a part of our on-platform team here a lot. And she also works over in Kids World. And this is called, I think she's called it Humble Lion. And it is, it really hits me. This is kind of what she says about it. She says that she's had this in her head. She had it in her head for over a year, since shortly after giving her life to Christ. She says, I tried and failed to get it out. It just never looked quite right. But at one point in time, she sat down and she just did it. So when she looks at this, she sees a lion with his head bowed, solemn eyes downcast, a crown of thorns bloodying his beautiful mane. Lions are powerful, proud creatures. They are named king for a reason. But this one, he is submissive. He is humble. He has forfeited his power and replaced his crown of gold with one of thorns. He is a mighty creature who has willingly lowered himself. What does that represent? It represents sacrifice, a sacrifice of power and pride. It represents victory, a victory that lies not in the defeat of others, but in the laying down of one's own life. It represents a prayer to be a humble lion.
Definitely has a massive impact when you look at it, and you can see the intentionality with the red. Yeah, it's very, very carefully put together.
It's beautiful.
So our next piece is a drawing by André Boulard, and it is entitled Caramel. And so André is a multidisciplinarian artist. This drawing is super technically sound. The line work in here is just awesome. He submitted this for Imagine, this hand drawing, but he also submitted a video, a time-lapse video, so you can see the drawing being created. André reached out to the family that actually commissioned him to do this piece to get a little bit more information and a story about the impact of Caramel's life. And this is what Caramel's owner had to say. She so represented what love is to our family and everyone who came in contact with her. I met so many people in my subdivision because of her. And you know, there's more of Caramel's owner's story on the website, so you can go to mw.church/imagine and you can read the rest of the story there. And also you can find a link to learn a little bit more about the artist as well.
Yes, I'm strongly considering getting a drawing done of my dog.
I think you should definitely do that.
Yeah. So many of you will know the name Ryan Gillies. If you have grown up around this church, spent some time around here, he's been an active part of our worship team, and he also grew up here, went to the academy and everything. He has some new music coming out really soon, March 2nd, and it is really cool. And I really wish we had some video from that we could show you, because I'm really psyched about the direction that he's going artistically. I think it's really, really cool. However, he's also done a really fantastic version of a song that he wrote a few years ago called Journey to the North Star, which was recorded here, actually kind of on this platform, just backstage though, a little while ago. And so he says this about the song. He says, many songs today explain things with words, but Journey to the North Star explains a story with sound and emotion. And I think that that's true. It really kind of tells, it's like a narrative arc to this song. So check it out. Ryan Gillies, Journey to the North Star.
Hello, my name is Mike Lutz. Be familiar to some of you, unfamiliar to lots more. I'm going to be reading a poem that I've written. Writing is very meaningful to me. It's a way of expressing things that are in my head in a way that's easily communicable to other people. All the great dreams and ideas of the human race have been captured with these tools. So it's great to feel like I'm a part of that. This is called Night. I walk in silence, the road rolling under my feet like oiled silk. My footsteps are a soft heartbeat. The cool breeze whispers its secrets in my ear. The sky arcs over my head, pulling at my eye. Not blue, not black, a color that existed only in my imagination, now painted across the roof of the world. Not blue, not black, a color that could hold anything, could take you anywhere. And the stars, so many and so bright, how can there be so many? What kind of light must shine behind that great curtain? Each chink of that light, a new possibility, a new what if, a new just imagine. Holding anything, taking you anywhere. Soon it will be day, the unforgiving daylight, bringing counts and recounts, news at 6, weather on the hour, and all manner of just this and right here. I will close my eyes, listen to the wind's secrets, feel the stars shining through my soul, holding anything, taking me anywhere.
This next piece is a painting. It is called Callie, and it is by Susan Savoy. This is a painting of her 16-year-old cat, a cat that's very dear to her heart. In her words, she was never a lover of animals, but Callie has sort of changed her heart on such matters. This painting is done on reclaimed canvas, and actually, if you look really closely, you can see that it's a framed puzzle. And so Susan doesn't remember what was on the puzzle originally, like what the image underneath is, but you know, now it's definitely her beloved Callie.
That's cool. Canvases are not easy things to get, and so it's pretty cool that you would go to a secondhand store and reclaim that. That's pretty cool.
And reclaiming and restoration, you know, that's all part of the art making process as well. You know, taking elements from the world around us and using those elements to say something, to communicate ideas.
Yeah. It's very nice. Next up, I'm sensing a bit of a theme here. So next up we have a work that is untitled, but if I had to name it, I would call it Elephants.
Would you?
And I think I would. From another member of our Imagine team, Katie Doiron. So Katie custom made this elephant painting really just for Imagine. She says that for her, it represents the diversity that's present in families. I like that because they are all elephants, right? Like obviously, it's very clearly all four of them are elephants, but all four of them they're all different. They're
very unique, yeah.
And so it's very colorful, very vibrant, very Katie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
I feel like there's a lot of joy in this painting.
Yes, I think you can almost hear them.
So the next piece is by local potter Kim Kirkpatrick. Kim has been a member of this church and her family as well for a very long time. And actually, when I was in art school, I was working in Kim's pottery studio. So this is a treat to be able to introduce the work that she submitted. So Kim was referencing Genesis 1:12. The earth brought forth vegetation, plants yielding seeds according to their own kinds, and trees bearing fruit in which is their seed, each according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. She said she had to stabilize it a bit because she lost the foundational piece. So I'm not sure if you know this or not, but working with clay and firing clay is quite a delicate process. And there's, you never are quite sure what's going to happen in that kiln. And so there was a foundational piece that had the scripture on it that's no longer a part of it. The order of the elements is probably less important than noting that the elements are all here, the things that Kim really wanted to communicate. So she was saying that this round sphere right here is representative of the earth. This sort of scooping bowl shape is representative of God's hands. And then other elements within it are representative of God's protection. It's really quite stunning. And you know, when you're talking about different mediums of art, whether it's drawing with pencil, or you are sculpting something from clay, or you're painting something with paint, or you're moving words around to create poetry, or your body to create dance, you know, it's really, I think that Kim has done a fantastic job of using the medium to communicate her message.
So now we're going to throw to a video here. Speaking of using your body to create, this is a dance choreography that was done by Grace Caines, who's also a member of the Imagine team, and her crew over at Dance Creation. If you are a dancer at all in this area, you definitely know about them. If you haven't already, you definitely check them out online, dancecreationstudio.com. So this song is, they did a choreography to this Carrie Job Elevation song, The Blessing, which obviously just kind of blew up last year.
Oh yeah, huge.
And the audio track that you're actually going to hear is the Moncton Wesleyan worship team. So you're going to hear us in the background, and Love Egg Vaughn is the one who's going to be leading the song, which is great. But the choreography is pretty cool because it, I think anyway, it's very timely, because you're going to see how it represents the distance that people are feeling in this season, while also listening to a song and representing the blessing that they ultimately feel from God. So let's go ahead and take a look at that video right now.
The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you, and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. 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 The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen. 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 May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and your children and your children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and your children and your children. May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you, he is with you. In the morning, in the evening, in your coming, in your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. He is with you, he is for you, he is
So this next work of art was submitted by Cindy Picard, a member of our church family here at Moncton Wesleyan. And Cindy is quilting, and actually she's doing something called freehand quilting on a long arm, which is essentially a giant sewing machine. Yeah, and so what I find really interesting about the quilting that she's doing, because it is freehand, she's essentially drawing. She's, in her own words, sort of making it up as she goes along. And it's this freehand approach. She's just letting, the material, she's letting it all just sort of flow.
Right.
And it comes out with these beautiful, beautiful works of art.
Yeah, it's fascinating, kind of the idea. I'm glad that we had some textiles that were able to make it in here, because it's a lot of people we know that are doing work in textiles. But then there's also just this kind of this tug and forth, back and forth. What is art, right? If you follow the numbers, is that a piece of art? If you start from scratch, though, is that a piece of art? What makes it something expressive? And I think we can definitely see, if we look here, like Cindy is definitely expressing something. You can see things happening in the work. It's pretty cool.
It's original, and it's free-flowing, and it definitely evokes an emotion. This next piece is a painting by Helen Spinney, and it is called Hallelujah. And I love this painting. It just evokes so much feeling and emotion. And so here's what Helen had to say about her painting. When I am photographing or searching for a reference image to paint, I look for something with a pleasing composition, some color, and a sense of action. This reference image had all three. Having been a member of the Greater Moncton Choral, I pictured the birds singing. Once I added the barn beams, which were not in the original reference photo, I knew what song they were singing, and therefore what to name the painting. Hallelujah. I really enjoyed painting this image and watching the birds come alive. And you know what? I see it. I see the joy bursting out of their tiny bodies. Yeah. It is just, it's so powerful.
Yeah, she and Helen wanted to make sure that we spelled it properly. So it's H-A-A-A. Hallelujah. So it's hallelujah. You want to hear you sing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're feeling it in the title.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So next up, we're going to take a look at a painting by another local artist, Brigitte Leblanc, and it's called Golden Eye. Now this is a process that I had never seen before, but there's a few people who actually submitted this time around with it. It's called alcohol ink, and it creates some really vibrant, very, very interesting images. She used, on this, for the process, she used an air gun, she used a heat gun, she even used a straw to blow the ink around and to get what she described as the movement in the painting. And I think if you look closely, you can see that there is actually some movement. She's only been doing this this medium for about 9 months or so, not even a year, but she's been definitely selling a lot of these around. So very, very cool stuff. I'm a fan.
I love the layers.
So we're getting nearer to the end of this exhibition, which is kind of sad, but again, there's more content that you'll be able to find online. There's still a few more things to come, and one of them is this song by a friend of this church, certainly a longtime friend, David McKenzie. He's led worship here a lot of times. He has a song that we're gonna take a look at. It's called Sunday Best, and it's part of, he's got a few different songs he just put out recently. One is called About to Fall. You can check that out on his social medias by going to davidmckenziemusic.com. He has a music video for that song. It's a pretty heartbreaking song about mental health struggles that he experienced. He's very open about it. He has kind of like a making of video. This song is also kind of heartbreaking, frankly, for me, but is really instructive for the church. And I think it's a very, very important look into the way that really a lot of people feel, how they experience church. So I think it's a really valuable story for us to engage with. So here we go. This song is called Sunday Best.
Everybody's welcome here, that's what the signs all say. But the people at the door say something else. They won't say it with their lips, but you can see it on their face. They know I'm not as good as them just yet. So I'll put on my best sneakers and I'll try to fix my hair. and I'll slip in through the back among the rest. They say come as you are, but they don't like it when I do. So I'll try to only bring my Sunday best. I won't ever let them see behind my mess. There's more grace if you've got more to give, 'cause you're worth more to them. And forgiveness only costs you 10%. If you'd hide behind a broken smile and say that all is well, then we could sing about amazing grace again. So I'll put on my best sneakers and I'll try to fix my hair, and I'll slip in through the back among the rest. They say come as you are, but they won't like it if I do. So I'll try to only bring my Sunday best. And I won't ever let them see behind my mess. All creatures of our God and King, lift up your voice and with us sing. Oh, praise Him, hallelujah. When you prayed, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Did you think about the ones who turn away? Or the pastors behind pulpits who would tear apart your truth to build up their own kingdoms in your name? You should put on your best sneakers and just try to fix your hair, and slip in through the back among the rest. They say come as you are, but they won't like it if you do. So you should try to bring your Sunday best, 'cause those nails in your wrist might make a mess.
By the sword. Have you seen the fish with sword for nose, who stabs his prey and slays his foes? Well, this is how his legend goes. He swims the waters there beneath, and fears not spines, nor claws, nor teeth, for he swims with sword that's never sheathed. Few brave men have caught the beast, but it's fool and liar who fear him least, and would tell you so, if not deceased. When fishing lines and nets are cast, with tattooed knuckles holding fast, knowing it could be their last, to pull the menace from the deep down below where monsters sleep. No risk means no reward to reap. The duel where rod and sword are met, salty seas and tears and sweat, blood and water, both are wet. When it's how you live, it's how you die. None can escape it by and by. To man and beast, the laws apply.
Hey, we are here. This is the moment that a lot of you, I know, have been waiting for. This is the Kids World entry for Imagine 21, and I'm here with Miss Jess Lewis, who actually we saw her work earlier on with the either called Humble Lion or A Lion's Pride. I don't remember what we called it, but it's a fantastic work. But Jess is now going to talk to us about this project that Kids World entered. Jess, what are we looking at here?
Well, here we've got some rocks, some wonderful rocks that the Kids World kids actually painted for us. We sent out a little memo, an email, a post. They could come pick up a rock, take it home, paint it, bring it back, and it would be part of our display, so we can see them all here. They're all done by our kids. And then we have an amazing little contraption made by Kevin Smith, and he made this up. It actually flows water. Check it out.
Water flows, yes, it's very cool.
Kind of like a river, which goes into our pool.
Yes.
And yeah, very natural looking. So I think the idea was mostly to have like Jesus as the living water, and then on the rocks it says God is my rock, because that's like the foundation for our faith. From Psalm 18, I believe it is, Psalm 18:2.
Nice.
So we get that from there. God is my rock, because that's the foundation that we want to build for our Kids World kids.
That's awesome. This is really, really cool. What I like about this is in terms of art, essentially you gave them kind of some constraints for the kids. So you said, here's what we want to do. We want to give you the canvas. So each of them had a blank canvas. The canvas was a rock. And you said, we want each of these to say, God is my rock. So you gave them a bit of a theme to work with. But if we look, each and every one of these are also really super individual expressions. So it's like variations on a theme, right? We see this in our culture in some respects, like meme culture, you know, where you take something and you add edits to it. But in some respects, a lot of art happens this way, right? Like you commission a piece, or you say, I want you to go ahead and do something really specific. And a lot of people, sometimes when they think about artists, they think, oh, these people are just like creating out of the blue sky. But no, sometimes it's actually easiest and best for us when someone gives us a theme or somebody gives us some sort of parameters and says, operate within these parameters. They say that parameters can actually drive creativity. And I think we see some pretty creative work here. So really awesome stuff. All you Kids World people, keep it up and keep the arts coming.
We want to thank you so much for taking the time to be part of the presentation by checking out the art that we were sharing here tonight, by going to the website mw.church/imagine and looking at the art that's available there as well. Thank you so much for being a part of Imagine. Big thank you to our artists for the time that you put in, for your willingness to, you know, put that submission together and to fill out those forms. And we want to thank our leadership team for the hours that you put in looking over the different submissions and also helping to come up with the creative elements of this presentation. So thank you very much.
And if you have enjoyed this at all, which I hope you have, I hope you'll share it around, because as you've already mentioned, the content that we've just looked at here is still going to be available online afterwards. And obviously there's even more on our website. So go make sure you take a look and spread the word.
So many, if not most, of these artists are making a living as artists. And if you feel so inclined, you can definitely go to their websites. You can feel free to patronize them. You can commission some work. You can purchase some work that's already been made. But we want to encourage you to support the local arts.
For sure. And also, it's at least possible that some of you might be thinking, I'd like to be able to give back in a tangible way. And there's no doubt a lot of different ways you could do that. We only want to give you one option in case, and this is not a fee for viewing this at all, but it's just if you really feel like it, you want to be able to give back, you want to express your gratitude in some way. If you go to harvesthouseatlantic.org, and if you click on the Donate Now link, what you could do is you could put in a donation of sorts so that they can purchase some resources for their people who are in recovery to be able to do arts and crafts. It's a fantastic way for them to be able to express themselves, to be able to do something creative and constructive, but it also, because it's not food and because it's not shelter, it sometimes falls down on Maslow's hierarchy list for them to be able to get to. So if you want to be able to give, it's a great way to do it. If you designate it Art Supplies MW, then we'll guarantee that at least up to $1,000, those funds will go directly to that. So again, not required, but entirely up to you if you'd like to do that.
So we hope that you feel inspired by the presentation tonight. We hope that maybe for some of you, you are feeling encouraged and maybe like you want to get out there, go back to the art making that you used to do, or try something totally new and use that creative muscle.
Yes.
So we hope that you will visit mw.church/imagine and look at the art that's available online and continue to be a part of Imagine even after this presentation.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling so that Imagine 22 will be even bigger and even better, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.